Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Chief Justice, and President of the Senate await admittance to the chambers.
Will the Sergeant at Arms and Escort Committee admit the Honorable Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Chief Justice, and President of the Senate await admittance to the chambers? Will the members please rise?
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Nelson.
Mr. Speaker, I move this body resolve itself into joint session for the purpose of hearing the address of Jesse Laslovich and her candidate speeches.
Without objection, so it is ordered.
Mr. President, Jesse. Mr. President, Jesse Laslovich, our special guest, awaits admittance to the chambers.
Will Sergeant at Arms Bakaboy please escort Mr. Laslovich to the podium? Will members please rise? Members, please be seated. Mr. Laslovich is the Chief Legal Counsel, Montana City Auditor,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House and Senate, members of the court, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, other elected officials. Let me first apologize that you're having to hear from me rather than Governor Bullock, who had, my understanding, something at the last second come up. I've had the privilege of addressing youth legislature, I think 3 or 4 times now, and I was pleased yesterday when I was asked to come in and say a few words this afternoon. And the reason I love doing this is because I consider myself a part of your generation. I grew up in Anaconda. We didn't do youth legislature. I did Boys State. I didn't run for a thing at Boys State. I thought it was a disaster when I was there. And then I turned around after graduating from high school in Anaconda and thought I'd run for the Montana House of Representatives. And before I get into that, I want to talk about our generation. Because what's happening to our generation, we need to fix. You need to fix. Because our politics are no longer what they seem, no longer what they should be. And you're all seeing it like I'm seeing it at the national level. For the first time in a long time, not unprecedented, but in a long time, where we may have 2 brokered conventions in nominating presidential nominees for the Democratic and Republican parties. That's how polarized our society is. And we're quick to blame the candidates. And I think there's a fair share of the blame to be thrown at them. But it's us, in my opinion, who are to blame. Not us in this room, but us as a society. That somehow we not only condone it, but we support it. That we support somehow this idea, this us versus them mentality. It's not our country. It's not Montana. And you can sit there and, as I'm saying this, talking in these general words, dismiss it. But it's true. Our system is broken. And here you guys are, traveled all over the state, servicing in youth legislature a worthy and important goal, setting yourself up, no matter what you do, whether you want to serve in government or not, and that somehow there's something that changes us as we get out, as they say, into the real world. And I'm here, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this boring speech, if there's one thing, no matter what you do, you control your destiny. You want to be in politics? You can do it. You want to, whether that's running for office or not. You want to be a doctor? Be a doctor. You want to be a teacher? Be a teacher. Do it because you love to do it. And I'm just going to touch on politics because that's why I'm here. If it is politics, don't be like 95% of the candidates who run for office, where we pander to the extremes of both sides, and that is rewarded when the folks ultimately get into public office. So partisanship is put ahead of actually getting results done. And you guys are here, you have your own bills, I suspect, trying to get something done. Same as if when I sat in this chair for 4 years, I served in the Senate for 6 years. You try what you can to get things done. You try to be pragmatic, and practical. And you serve with folks, unfortunately, who are only worried about their own agenda and not willing to be pragmatic or practical or compromise. I served 10 years in the state legislature, and I'll tell you what legislating is all about. It's about compromise. You want to be effective? You need to compromise. Does that mean you sacrifice your principles? Heck no, it doesn't mean you sacrifice your principles. But it means you can get something done. And a time where we're more concerned about the next election rather than doing what's right for our state or for our country, that's refreshing. And unfortunately, there are far too many people who are in the minority who believe that. And so how do we change it? We change it with you, with us. That we accept what is happening now in our country, and in some ways our state, or do we reject it and change it? And in 2000, when I ran for the State House of Representatives, I didn't sit here and think, yeah, I want to serve in the State House as a 19-year-old, or a 20. I did it because it fell in my lap. I knew I was interested. My high school government teacher was Angela McLean at the time. Became lieutenant governor. She was going to run for the seat. I was a product of term limits. My 7th grade social studies teacher was in the House for, it seemed like 100 years. And then he was term limited. And the seat in 2000 in Anaconda was an open seat. My high school government teacher was going to run. I was going to get my foot in the door. I was helping our current Lieutenant Governor, Mike Cooney. He was running for governor in 2000. I was a student at the University of Montana. And that was going to be, I'm going to get a taste of this. Am I going to like this? By helping him and helping her run for the legislature. I finished my first semester at the University of Montana, not even thinking about running, but was majoring in political science, thinking, yeah, maybe I'm interested in politics. And over Christmas break, my high school government teacher, Mrs. McLean, says, I'm pregnant. I'm not going to. She didn't say I was pregnant, she said she was pregnant. And she said to me, what do you think about you running? And I thought it was crazy. Went back to the university, and then no one was filing. No one was filing. Filing periods from January to March in Montana. You pay $15 to run for the legislature. And I thought, shoot, no one's filing. I can do this easily. I can file and then have a walk right into office. Well, as soon as I filed, 2 other folks filed, the county commissioner at the time, and the editor of our local paper, saying I was too young. So there were 3 of us in that primary. I didn't have a clue. And in many ways, I still don't. I remember the first call I got from a reporter, and I was sweating profusely like I was on a basketball court. So nervous about the questions and so nervous about my answers. I went door to door telling people, here's who I am, here's what I believe in, and they thought I was the newspaper delivery boy. And I thought my age was going to be my biggest liability. How do I overcome my age? I have no experience, as my opponent said. No experience. I didn't pay taxes. Don't own property. He doesn't have a clue. And my age was my best asset. You know why? Everybody said you're not beholden to special interests. You're new, it's fresh. So don't sell yourself short. And I don't care if it's politics or any other profession. I think we are our worst enemy in many ways because we sell ourselves short. Your youth, your energy is your asset. And make it that way. Don't be afraid of it, embrace it. I was afraid of it. I won the primary, shockingly. I don't know how I did it. Won in November because I didn't have an opponent. And then served in the House in 2001. And I walked into this building not having a clue, not knowing anybody. And it's not like now, those of you who have paged, I know some of you have. You come during the legislative session, this place is buzzing. You can just feel it, you can hear it. And I was terrified. Didn't know anybody. And wondered, why the heck did I do this? And I stumbled my way through that first session. Yeah, I want to do this again. Ran for re-election, was unopposed, shockingly. Served another session, started to get my feet underneath me. Ran for the Senate. It was an open seat, unopposed, again, shockingly. And got to serve 4 years in the Senate and ran for re-election, but was opposed. And won, and then I ended up resigning to take my current job where I am now. The legislative process, you guys, is the process to be involved in our government. If you are at all interested, I urge you, beg you, to consider doing it. I'll help you. I'll write you a check. Now, if it's everyone, then I'm going to have a problem. But if it's a few of you, I'll help. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. But if you have an interest in improving the state and having a say, having a seat at the table, do it. Don't rely on others. When I ran for those few times in the legislature, my position always was the policies that we enact in the legislature and that are ultimately adopted by the governor, I have to live with longer than anybody else I was serving with. I was the youngest. Same with all of you. And so why shouldn't it be that you have a say? We should. And it doesn't need to be as a candidate. It can be running a campaign. It can be volunteering for a campaign. It can be an advocate for an issue that you believe in. But I'm just here to implore you to get involved. Don't be apathetic, because apathetic breeds what we're experiencing this election cycle. And so I think there's a burden on our generation, on all of you. I know it's not a very uplifting or powerful message, but don't dismiss it. You have more power than you think. And it's not a coincidence that candidates aren't listening to us, because for the most part, we don't get involved. We start getting involved, start volunteering, we start voting, fundamentally start voting, we'll start listening. And that's when change starts to happen. I'm going to just talk about a couple of other things and then I'll stop. You're seeing in the paper today this apathy being formed in this divisiveness between the parties. Not only is it occurring between the parties, but even within the parties. Anybody from Cascade County, Great Falls? They have their central committee for one of the parties is in disarray because they have members that they think aren't truly upholding the Republican Party platform. And we get, I'm a Democrat, we get into the Democratic Party too. Is that what we're there to do? Is serve the party? A lot of people think so. A majority of the people who are in this legislature think so. I'm telling you, on both sides. So you throw your hands up and say, that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes, I'm not gonna do anything about it, or you wanna change it? And I subscribe to the latter, that you try to change it, even if you don't get anywhere. It's worth shouting. It's worth the effort. And all of us, I think, are in that. It's not just a generational thing, but it starts with us. So, and the other, there's a lawsuit you may have seen where they want to have a closed primary. Folks familiar with this? Where you have to be registered your party to vote. You can't, as we do now, you go in, you get the Democrat ballot, you get the Republican ballot, you pick one, you vote on that ballot, and that gets, and whoever wins, and that's who's on the general ballot. And you wonder why we have candidates who pander to the extreme elements of their party when the system is closed. That's not democracy. And it should be open so that we can choose. The voters ultimately decide and are the greatest disinfectant. That's us. That's you, particularly. Our generation. I'll close with this. I'm 35. I wish I had hair like you guys. My wife, in October, she's from Great Falls, was diagnosed with cancer. And I lost my dad to cancer in July of 14. 57 years old. You go through life, we had a healthy family, and you think everything is fine until you get punched in the stomach with that kind of news. And we have 2 young children who shouldn't have to go through what they've endured the last 6 months with a 35-year-old mom. I tell you this for 2 reasons. One, our healthcare system is broken. It needs to be fixed. We're spending more on healthcare than any other country in the world. Our healthcare economy is the 5th largest economy in the world, bigger than the entire economy of France. That's just the healthcare economy. It's unsustainable. So if you want to go into healthcare, make a commitment that you're truly in healthcare to help people and not to become rich. Do it because of your heart. Don't do it because you're, whether it's health or anything, law. Do it because that's what you want to do. Second reason, the main reason, is John F. Kennedy, who I studied and look up to, talked about in his first inaugural, his only inaugural address, the idea that all of us are bound together as humans throughout the world, that we all breathe the same air, we all cherish our children's futures, and that we're all mortal. One thing with my wife's diagnosis that has hit me in the face more than I thought, and my dad for that matter too, is our mortality. And what I believe, and what I've said previously, becomes more from my heart than before, to say, you gotta live life without regrets. Do what you want to do. Make a difference. Stick your neck out. Don't take your health for granted. Don't take your life for granted. Do something with it. My wife, to her credit, has and will continue to. Our children, hopefully, will be raised to believe that and do something about it. And at the end of the day, when we all reach that point of our mortality, we can look back and be proud of what we've done and have no regrets. So that's what I want to leave you with. Don't have any regrets. Embrace the opportunity that you have. This is your time. Go out there and take it. Thank you very much.
guests from the chambers. Members, please be seated.
Mr. President, Faith Scow and Jordan Straub, Mr. Helena Montreal come await admittance to the chamber.
Will the Sergeant of Arms please escort our guests to the podium? It is my pleasure to present Helena High students Faith Scow and Jordan Straub. They will be introducing their mock trial team.
All right, hey guys, thanks for having us here today. I can't believe they put us after Jesse. That's kind of hard to beat. So I'm just here to talk to you about the mock trial program that just got started up in Helena. So it started up last year. I actually started this program here in the state at Helena High. We ended up traveling all the way to Idaho to compete and actually placing in the top 4. And the teams that we lost to actually went on to the national competition, placed very highly. And so since we did so well last year, we've actually been getting a lot of support. A lot of things have been happening that's been super awesome for our program. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about what mock trial is. So you get a binder of case materials, quite a bit of information with affidavits in it. And these case materials can range from civil cases to criminal cases. You can get all sorts of things. We had one case about a pot farmer who shot a DEA agent, and last year was a case about an app developer who put in coding to allow students to get perfect scores on their tests. So it's really a wide range of things that you get to learn about. Mock trial creates a lot of opportunities for you. So I had a job interview last September, and what my employer was most interested in is that I was a leader on this mock trial team. She didn't care that I participated in cheerleading, that I participated on the debate team, that I had a previous job. She cared that I was a leader on this team. And so this is your opportunity to be a leader on a team. I'm 100% sure that none of your schools have this program yet, and you have the opportunity to start this at your school, and make a lifelong impact for students in your school. And so I'm going to have Jordan Straub. She's one of the mock trial students I had for the last 2 years, and she's going to tell about her experiences.
What I wanted to do. I knew that I had always really liked public speaking. That's always something that I really enjoyed, and I didn't really want to join speech and debate. I also played soccer, that took like a lot of time, and I just wasn't super sure. So Faith contacted me about the mock trial team that she was starting last year, and I was really interested because it's something that I found super fascinating. I really enjoy law. I want to go into law, and Faith just gave me this perfect, phenomenal opportunity. I joined the team last year as a freshman, and I had a blast. We did phenomenal for our first-year team. We went to state in Idaho and competed, and we did really, really well. And this year, I was able to come back as kind of in more of a leadership position on the team, which has helped me grow insanely. I know I've gained so much confidence, and I really feel like I'm ready to go with it further next year. It's an amazing, amazing program. We're kind of here today because we want you guys to get involved. Like, we need your help. Right now, we're the only team in Montana, which means we have to travel all the way to Idaho to we need more teams around the state. So that's why we're here today. We're asking you to help us. We really do need more involvement. We need you guys to spark some interest in your schools and in your towns to help us. And because it really is amazing. If you're interested in law or politics or just looking for something else to do to add to your college applications, this is really something that is a phenomenal opportunity. And we really appreciate you guys listening to us today.
So if you guys are interested in starting one of these programs at your school, get out your phones, a pen, paper, and write down my phone number. It's 406-465-7423. And again, it's 465-7423. And just shoot me a call, a text, anything, and we'll make sure to get you, we'll mentor you, so you will be fully capable of this program. You're not going to be on your own, so don't feel scared. I know it sounds kind of intimidating, but we were our first-year team, and we were the first ever public school to make it into the semifinals. Nothing is impossible. So thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you, Faith and Joy. Will the House Sergeant at Arms please escort our guests from the chambers? We'll now take this opportunity to hear from each of the candidates who will be on the ballot in this year's primary election. When I announce the office, this year's general election, excuse me. When I announce the office, all candidates for that office will come forward and make their speeches in turn. Each candidate will have 1 minute. So, candidates for the Speaker of the House, please come forward. And then could all the other candidates that are up in the balcony please kind of come down to the front just so it doesn't take quite as long to start.
Hi, I'm Abe Macy. I'm also known as Abe the Babe, Abe the Virgin, which is also my Twitter account. And I want you to think of the question, WWWAVD. What would Abe the Virgin do? And the answer to that question would be, vote for me for Speaker of the House. And in closing, the reason why I'm a virgin is because I just don't lose. Thank you.
So, Peter, pumpkin eater. Vote PT for next year's Speaker of the House, that is. Reason I'm running for Speaker of the House. Long saying in my family. My grandpa told it to my dad told it to me. If you can use anything in your power to help somebody or to have someone have an enjoyable experience at any point of their life, that you should do it. And I believe as Speaker of the House that I can help people grow and have a fun time here at Youth Ledge. And yeah, so that's about it. PT with where longest name on the ballot. Thank you.
Howdy doodly there, neighborinos. I'm Cody Dangerous Carlson, and I'm running for President of the Senate for 2017 Youth Legislature. I would like to thank all of the members of the House for participating in the national anthem during yesterday's sessions. It created a very patriotic mood for the rest of the YMCA Montana Youth in Government session. I believe that I heard the crowd murmur the words, "Choose well," as I moved to give my nose flute demonstration. My standard for myself, Cody Dangerous Carlson, is to choose well, though I do acknowledge my great variety of mistakes. I bestow that very responsibility upon you in tomorrow's election. Choose well, choose intentionally, choose Cody Dangerous Carlson for 2017's President of the Senate. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Could candidates for Secretary of State please come forward at this time?
Okay, so I'm Jackson Maloney and I'm running for Secretary of State. And I really had a great time at this conference. I don't know about you. I mean, whether you're in the judicial system, the House, the Senate, or even the first years, I hope you guys had fun. And I just want to be able to continue that next year. And even if you didn't have fun so far, there's still the dance. And at that dance, you should vote for me. Thank you.
At this time, could candidates for Chief Justice please come forward?
Hey, I'm Brittany Long, and I want to be your next Chief Justice because I'm in it for the long run. So, I've been an attorney for the past 2 years. If you were here last year, you know Blake Casagranda, he was the Chief Justice last year. Him and I have similar qualities. We both have so much heart and soul for this program. I may not have the big muscles as he would, or that beautiful blonde afro as he would, but I believe I could bring so much to the judiciary aspect of this program. And now tomorrow, when you're looking at the ballot, as Taylor Swift would say, if you got a blank space, just check my name. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate Robinson, and I'm running for re-election as your 2017 Youth Chief Justice. I am definitely experienced. I served as an attorney my freshman year where I won Best Brief. I was the editor of the newspaper last year, which is also the namesake for this year's newspaper, I'd like to point out. And I'm currently serving as Chief Justice, so I feel like I'm definitely qualified. And whether you vote red or blue, I want you to vote for Paige.
Now, could candidates for Governor and Lieutenant Governor please come forward? believe we will have the lieutenant governors speak first.
Hi guys, I'm Ray Shipman. I'm going to just start off with a riddle that I'm going to make you really think about until tonight. Okay, so you have two penguins and they're rowing a boat across the desert. Okay? One turns to the other and says, "Where's your paddle?" And he replies, "Sure does." So anyway, well, I'm actually up here to talk about running for lieutenant governor. So I'm running with JJ Moore over there. So Youth Pledge, I just love Youth Pledge, I love the program, and I love arguing, just having fun and meeting new people. So that's just kind of what I stand for, and we just really appreciate your vote tonight. So remember, Ray, Jeremiah Moore over there, vote for us tonight. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Sam Telling, and I'm running with Jacob Opel from Gardner. I'm running for lieutenant governor. You know, they always say, think before you speak, but that's not how you get elected these days. You just have to go for it. And so if you want a lieutenant governor who shoots from the hip and speaks from the heart, I hope I'm your candidate. And vote Jacob and Sam tonight. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lincoln Leary. I'm running with Isaiah Hesser. We are both from Jefferson. And I want to ask you one question. Have you ever been inspired? Do you remember in first grade when they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said I wanted to be an astronaut. But we all chose to be in the Montana YMCA Youth and Government Program. Thank you, RJ. Anyway, you should vote for us because we are fun and we also get things done. Vote for Isaiah.
We now have the governor candidate speak.
Hello everyone. If you don't already know me, I'm Jeremiah Moore. Sorry for the confusion today on the color scheming here. You might have thought that I'm actually Bill Nye the Science Guy, but I'm not. So, me and Ray Shipman, we are running for governor and lieutenant governor, respectively, and we really hope to gain your vote. I love being a part of this program, and I love standing up and being in front of all of you and working with all of you so that we, in the future, can make the state of Montana great by making our program great right now. Remember, a vote for more is truly a vote for more. And when it comes time to go to the ballots, remember Ray J, but not the one associated with Kim K.
I'd like to apologize for Lincoln. He gets nervous in front of people. All right. I'd like to start with a quote from the dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. I hate South Korea. I think what Mr. Kim meant by that is that we should love everyone. People from all walks of life, and to make sure to have fun. And really, that's what my campaign is all about, having fun. So if you want to continue to have fun and get things done, vote for me. That was also a rhyme, that's why I said it. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jacob Opel, and I'm running for governor of the Montana YMCA Youth Legislature. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've lived in Montana my entire life. I'm an avid hiker, fly fisher, and an all-around outdoorsman. Sam and I are the most qualified candidates here. We both have a lot of experience in the youth legislature. We both are very intelligent people, something that's very sought after in politics nowadays. And most of all, we are very fun people. If you elect us, we will answer questions like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Where is Tupac and is he dead? And is Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer or Shannon Temple? My inspiration for running is Donald Trump, of course, and I believe that America is where wings take dream. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. As far as I know, that is all. RJ would like all both House and Senate committee chairs to meet in his office room 350. Excuse me, 350. As far as that goes, nothing else. Please report immediately to your respective committees otherwise.